there's going to come a point when this little thing is just going to eventually pack up. The sort of boot lid will open, the roof will try to come up, it'll come up halfway and it'll just make a load of noise. And then you have to end up moving it back or forward by hand. And it just ends up being a real pain. You don't want to use the roof half the time. So I'll strip this down, change the O-rings and put a new motor in it. And that should fix the problem. I've already cleaned it out. Tried changing the fluid, no good. The amount of crap that came out of it, but it worked for the first 2 or 3 times. It was really, really fast, and then it just sort of went again. So I suspect it's the motor's on its way out. What you're going to need is a plastic container to clean out all the crap, brake and clutch cleaner, a couple of hex bits. What sizes have we got? 4 and 5. The most important bit that you're going to need is a very long Torx bit, which is Torx 25. I think that's 150 mil long, I think it is, to get down the side to undo the bottom, because you just can't get in there with any other bits. It needs to be a tall one. And for the motor itself, you're going to have to solder out the bottom, so you need a soldering iron, some desoldering wick, and obviously then some solder to put it onto the new motor, and a set of replacement O-rings for the pump. Okay, so I've already cracked all of these off, because they can be quite hard, some of these, to undo. So you might want to put it into a vise, or if you've got a woodworking clamp, sort of attach it to a desk or something and undo it like that. Right, let's get all this out of the way. I have already pulled the plastic reservoir off, because it's really fiddly. It takes quite a bit of time. What you've got to do is undo the Jubilee clip at the top, and then this plastic bit goes right up here, and then sort of fiddle, go a bit round, go around, pull in, and sort of just work your way around till eventually it'll drop down and you can just pull it off. So let's get that off first of all. Oh, it's already undone. Only on there loosely. So that just drops off like that. You know, like I say, this normally the reservoir comes right up to the top. There's plastic lip that goes into those bits all the way around there, and then you've got your O-ring to stop any leakage. We'll give that a good tug. Right, that's it, that comes off. Let's move that over there. And next, let's take out the solenoid. That's a hex bit. I'm going to use a Torx bit. It's longer. It's just 2 of those. One. Two. Let's give this a wiggle. And then there's 3 O-rings on the solenoid, and these are all 3 different sizes. You've got the largest one there, medium, and then small right at the end. Before we do that, I've already cleaned this out, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Let's get these out of the way. There's a bit of mesh there, if you can see it, and one on the side. Just have a quick blast through there. So when I first did this, it was just all black gloop that came out. I presume that it's just sort of rotten fluid over time. Right. Next up, let's remove this block. Again, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the hex bit. the Torx bit, but these are hex bolts in here. They're two different sizes, one's longer than the other. And this is the shorter one this side. Pop that out. And on this side here, there's two tiny O-rings. See them? One there and then one there. Let's get them out of the way. And also, here on this one, there's a tiny bit of mesh. You can see that. And when I cleaned this out the first time, that was just packed full of gunk and what was like, it was like cotton fibre threads, only a tiny bit. You know, like when you put something in your pocket and you get lint, it was like that. Yeah, so I've got no idea what that was. Alright, now this is where you need the long bit, because you just cannot get anything in there. They're so tight against the side. Even then, like, it's still at an angle, but it does get them out. Obviously it'll be a lot harder, because I've already cracked these, like I said, I've already undone them. Alright, give that a wiggle. Then you got one O-ring there, that sits on the top there. You got another O-ring there, and then you got the big thick one on the outside. Let's pull these out. Where's my little blade? Obviously, if you're going to be renewing your or keeping your old O-rings, don't use a blade. Right. Take you out, chuck you there. Good. Just gonna wipe down. Not so oily. Now you need something with a little hook. I'm using a small Allen key. You can use anything that will go in and sort of pull this out so you can get behind it. Give it a tug. There we go. There it comes. That bit sits on there. Inside here is the actual motor itself. So when you undo these two bolts, the motor's going to drop out. Now this is going to look different to yours because I've unsoldered the bottom of this already and put it onto the new motor, which is here. That's the new motor I've got. This was a real pig to unsolder because on the inside it's all soldered in there as well. I haven't soldered this yet. If I come up into the connector, see that or not? Pick it up. It's all soldered on the inside of here, so it's really hard to get any desoldering wick next to it or in there to pull it out. So what I ended up doing was I got all this off as much as I could, and all from the front here I got all that off, and then I put the soldering iron, I just kept it there against the terminal so it started to warm up the solder on the other side, and whilst that was there I just gently did this with a screwdriver, left and right, left and right, left and right, until it was warm enough and it just popped off. And also with this motor, there's so many different manufacturers and it might not be the same, but the connections on the original motor, I think they're think they're 4.8 mil, these ones. I'll pick that up. Yeah. And the new ones, they were 6.3, I think, so they're bigger. So I had to use a Dremel to take the sides down for them to fit. And they're a bit further in. I put it up. Oh, it's not going to show like this because I've already bent them out. But they're long enough that you can sort of bend them out into an L shape. So you sort of come out and then up, and then they both fit into there. So that's the new motor, and I'm hoping that that solves the problem. I think that was £40, I think, on AliExpress. Now, before you all start saying, "Oh, it's from China," if you look on eBay, that's all they're doing. They're buying them from AliExpress or somewhere else, and they're putting them on there. So you might as well go straight to AliExpress and get them there and save yourself sort of 40 or 50 quid, because that's how much it's going to cost on eBay. Right, so new O-rings. Let's get new O-rings out. And there's 8 here. Where's the other small one? There it is. Come here. Right, that's all you. So we'll start with that one in the middle. Then that one there. You can't mix these up. The only ones you can mix up are the solenoid ones, but I'll come to them in a minute. And then the big thick one goes around the outside. Right, shove that over there. Solenoid. And these are a pig to get off, especially that end one right down here. Again, like I say, if you're going to reuse these, well, you probably wouldn't, but don't use a blade. I'm just using it because it's the smallest thing I've got that will go in there and pull them off. Come on. Doesn't help having big fingers. You're off. I spoke too soon. Yeah, and the last one. I'm going to cut this, I think. In around. Right, that's you. We can look at these three. You can see that they're 3 different sizes. You got, oh, come here. Largest one. Actually, these two are quite hard to tell apart. Have a look here. All right, I have to quickly double check. Right, okay. Large one first. Right, large one. The medium size. One. Lastly, small one. Right. And let's give this a quick clean out again. So this was, where are we? Hex Bits, wasn't it? That's the, oops. That's the filling plug, that one. When you fill it back up with hydraulic fluid. It really is mucky. So, yeah. They've got copper washers, so make sure you don't lose them. And you've got two at the back. That's stuck in there. Come on. Nothing's ever simple. One. Yeah, not too bad. And it's full of rubbish. I sprayed it out before. Right, blew that copper washer out. Turn it over. They've all come out. Probably should replace these, but I don't know. We'll see if we get any leaks. One there. Just doing these by hand for the minute. Right. Invaluable bit of rag. So we've done, what have we done? Yeah, done all the O-rings. So now, let's put it all back together. I said the most time consuming part, this bit doesn't take, takes 10 minutes to do this, is soldering on the circuit board, or taking the old one off rather. That's just a real faff. Unless you've got, I don't know, maybe you can get soldering irons with nice angles. I don't know. So where's my new motor? There it is. I haven't soldered this on yet. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to try it first of all, and all being well, then I'll come back and solder it. It's a knife. I mean, it's not going anywhere. Sitting on there tightly. Let's get this. There he says. Let's take them both out. Let's line that up. That's it. And then you got two bolt holes. Line them up. Right, they're lined up. Put them in. These are same T25, I think. Right, let's tighten these up properly. I think they're 8.8 or is it grade, or is it 6? With that, I'm not going to talk them. It's just, you know, don't you, how tight to do something up. Especially Torx bits, they round off quite easily. That's it. Alright, pop that bit of plastic back on. And then line that up. Right, the pipe that comes out goes onto there. It's a small hole. So you've got your 3 threaded holes, and then you've got the small hole on the left. Which way around you have it. And that corresponds there with that. Give it a wiggle, and that's it. That's already in place. That's nice and simple. Right, let's tighten these down. Now let's go around, just tighten them a fraction at a time on each side. I think that's tight enough. Well, the dogs are going mad outside. Yep, right. Give it that. Another wipe down. Right, let's put block back on. So 2 tiny O-rings. And we got there. And one there. And we've got 2 bolts, one long, one short. Which way around are we? Trying to think how it is in the car. That's like that, and then that goes like that. Long one, left hand side. Where's my big torque's gone? There it is. Let me let that swing. I'll do that by hand. So them O-rings are still in place. Yep, they are. Just have a move around so we feel the thread. Nice and tight. Solenoid back in. These are all still pretty oily, so I don't think I need to put anything on there to help it get in. And that, oh no, there we go. I'll give it a quick spray with this. There we go, that's nice and tight, much tighter than when it came out. 2 small ones. Being a bit naughty here, I'm using the Hex Bit to do up bolts. Don't do one side tighter than the other. Do them a bit each. Go back a bit each. Right, let's get all this crap out of the way. Now the horrible bit, putting the reservoir back on. You might need do this on the floor. It's quite awkward. That's still quite oily, but I'm going to use that as a bit of lube. But it dries out quite quick. Little marker on the front is obviously your reservoir fluid level, so you want that. Which way around are we? We want it there, facing the front. This is quite a pig to get in. Actually, oil I got there. Lube it up a bit. Still got the hard bit of pushing it right up to the top. Ah, there we go. Right. Now it gets hard. Let's see. I've got a socket I can tap that down with. Right, no socket. So let's first of all, a tiny bit of, oh, too much. Wait, tiny bit of hydraulic fluid around the top. Lube that lip up. It doesn't damage the O-ring either. Right. This back in before it spills everywhere. That. Right, this might be a bit noisy. Have to resort to a bit of wood and a very light hammer. I've done it like this before. You can just whack it on the floor. I have to do that. Hold on. Bear with me 1 second. Come on now. There we go. It's gone past the O-ring. Yes, when you get all this crap on your hands, you can't grab anything, get a good firm grip. Stay there. There she goes. Not the most scientific of methods, but it works. Let's give that a good turn. All right, where's the front? Front there. Bottom O-ring. Back on the Jubilee clip. What have I done with the end? There it is there. That to there. Right, we uniform all the way around the top. Yeah. Do it up. That's it. Wipe down. I'm hoping I should have enough room here with it to solder those connections on after. Right, next is trying it.